Hello and welcome to the Morning Journal. Okay, can you please give us a countdown? Hello and welcome to the Morning Journal. My name is Rachel.
And I'm Sarah. Welcome back from the Easter break to all of our La Trobe students. I had a great Easter weekend being Greek myself. Lots of food, lots of drinks. What did you get up to, Rachel?
I've been to a couple of gigs and just kind of relaxing. Spent my time on social media as a lot of us millennials do.
Yes. Speaking of social media, if you'd like to keep track of us during the show, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at The Morning Journ, or watch us live on upstart.net.au in the Agora.
Well, we have a lot coming up on the show today. Let's see what we have on.
Coming up on the Morning Journal, Scarlett gives us the rundown of what's new in the news. The girls head over to ArtVo to check out some interesting immersive art. Kate is back with another instalment of Entertainment Talk, where she'll be reviewing the new comedy Game Night and Netflix reality show Nailed It. Liam from the La Trobe Student Union joins us to talk about the upcoming Club Fest. And we'll have some music by an amazing local female rapper, Poppy Rose, who just might be joining us on next week's show. So stay tuned for an exciting hour.
Sounds like we have a really good show coming up.
Absolutely. But for now, let's go to Scarlett with the headlines.
Thanks, guys. So Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull seems to be following in the footsteps of his predecessor after losing his 30th consecutive news poll, matching Tony Abbott's streak. Although unlike Abbott's trail of losses, Turnbull's position of leadership is not under threat, despite his inability to meet the benchmark he set for himself in 2015. Labor led the coalition with a two-party preferred vote of 52 to 48 for preferred Prime Minister. Malcolm Turnbull is still leading opposition leader Bill Shorten, but only by 2 points. The US President Donald Trump has called Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad an animal after a chemical weapon attack in Syria killed at least 40 people, many of them children. Russia, who backs Syrian military efforts, denies that the chemical attack was deployed by the Syrian government and wants to send a special unit to the affected area for a thorough investigation. The United Nations Security Council are holding an emergency meeting today to discuss the attack. The live export ship that caused outrage after 2,400 sheep were killed on a trip to the Middle East last August has failed inspections in Fremantle over the weekend. Yesterday, the Australian Maritime Safety Authority declared the ship's airflow did not meet the required standards needed to carry livestock. The airflow must be fixed to require standards before the ship can be used for live exports again, to ensure the humane treatment of animals on board. The industry is also under pressure to set higher standards for the transportation of livestock, since the shocking videos of the ill treatment and the even dead sheep being thrown overboard surfaced. There is a call for the industry leaders to exercise a higher level of accountability for the conditions of transport. Canada is still in mourning after a truck collided with the bus driving the Humboldt Broncos junior hockey team, killing 15 people on Friday evening. The bus contained 29 passengers, including the driver. A doctor at the scene of the crash compared the tragic accident to an airstrike. The driver of the truck that collided with the Broncos bus survived the ordeal and was initially detained. He has since been released and is being provided with mental health assistance. The tragedy has shaken up the small community of Humboldt, consisting of just 6,000 people. There are many factors to the investigation which must be carefully considered before determining the cause of the accident. New Zealand transgender weightlifter Laurel Hubbard is set to win gold at the Commonwealth Games this week, amid some of the criticism from the wider weightlifting community. The International Olympic Committee are resolute that Hubbard isn't breaking any rules by competing. Samoan coaches, along with other rivaling countries, are calling for the IOC to rewrite the rulebook that is allowing for the 40-year-old New Zealander to compete, arguing that she has an unfair advantage, having transitioned only 5 years ago. Hubbard became eligible for the Games after tests showed her testosterone levels were below the threshold required to compete. Hubbard's position in the competition has a lot of support from the LGBTQI community, as well as full approval from games officials. And finally, old dogs may be able to learn new tricks. A recent study by scientists at the Columbia University in New York suggests that people as old as 79 can still create new brain cells. Through testing brain samples of deceased people between the ages of 14 and 79, the findings suggest that older brains can retain cognitive and emotional abilities for longer than we thought. And that's all we have in the news today.
But last week we did talk about Facebook and how, you know, they've been taking people's information and messages and that to use for political gain and things like that.
Yes, big privacy scandal.
Yes, well, this week Mark Zuckerberg is getting ready to testify about this, and sort of he's going to be very questioned about the regulations of Facebook and whether or not they should be used by the government.
Yeah, could you elaborate a little bit on what the scandal is and what's happening and what they are looking to change? It's not just the privacy laws, is it? There's other things that are going on, isn't it, in a political circumstance?
Well, as we discussed last week, the data that they collected was used potentially for political advantage by taking people's information and then changing different ad campaigns to suit different demographics. So, you know, finding out that you're Sarah and you like this thing and you... So they're using this data to... in a political way, apparently, but also this week has been more so playing out the different judicial circumstances that he's going to have to go through. So he's got to answer to a number of different committees and boards, and I think that it's really we're only scratching the surface of what the scandal will be in actuality because it's so huge.
Absolutely. I know that it was rumoured that he used it for Donald Trump's campaign in 2016 and also Brexit. So it's not just one country. It's absolutely widespread, and it could be happening in Australia. But you know, none of that's come out. But yeah, he is testifying this week, and people are understandably very angry because they didn't know that this was happening. And so, yeah, he definitely does have a lot of questions to answer.
And I think there are a lot of people who don't know that their data has been shared yet, which is one of the things that a lot of people are wanting to address, that Facebook has an obligation to contact the people personally and let them know who has their data and, if possible, what they used it for. It's just such a huge pool of people that I don't know how they're going to really go about that, but that's just their problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, at least they're trying to do something about it.
Yeah.
And at least people are noticing these privacy laws. It's not just us three discussing it here right now today.
Yes.
Because I know most people don't really read the terms and conditions, and when you go on Facebook and you see these advertisements, I don't know if you know, but when you click on it, you can check why am I seeing this advertisement, and it'll say something like, you know, based on your likes or something like that. But it's all very vague. They don't tell you exactly why you're seeing that advertisement.
Right.
So.
And it's not just Facebook either. I mean, web pages share cookies, which is data that you don't realise you're sharing.
Yeah, even Apple, I've noticed, is the same. Like when you're setting up this computer, anything that you have on here, the terms and conditions, they say things like, well, pretty much we have access to things that you're putting on here, things that you're saving, and that can go deeper to like Google Chrome and your Safari and what you've been searching to.
Yeah. And once something is uploaded to a web page, you do lose ownership of that unless you own that web page. But you're sending information out onto the internet, which isn't like a filing cabinet. It's a whole web of information out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's kept forever. Whatever you post online, even if you deleted it, it's still there. They've got everything. So.
Yeah, when Facebook comes up.
Do you guys feel anxious about that at all?
Like, no, not at all. No. I'm a very open book. I don't have a passcode on my phone. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Everything I've ever put on technology, I'm proud of.
Yeah.
And I knew that from a very young age. I came from a household where my parents made that very clear.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a lock on my phone, but only because I lose it all the time.
Yeah. I am very scared of losing my phone and
I lost it twice over the Easter weekend. Oh. It came back every time though. It's like a boomerang.
That's good.
Yeah.
What were you doing on the weekend?
I was at the Boogie Festival, which is a music festival which features a lot of local and some international acts, and it's in Tullarook.
We are going to have a local artist on later called Poppy Rose. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
How
all
do you
about
hear
that.
about these
happening.
festivals?
Music scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Go to gigs.
yeah. Well, thanks, Scarlett.
No
We'll see you
worries.
later in the show for
the
another
recap.
news recap.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. For those tuning into the show now, you're with the Morning Journal broadcast. It is 9:16 a.m. Thank you for joining us. You can tweet us on Twitter or follow us on Instagram at The Morning Journ and catch the show on the big screen in the Agora or at upstart.net.au.
Now, Rachel, I know we're already in the 5th week of university and O Week has greatly gone, but that doesn't mean everything from O Week has disappeared. Is that correct?
No, that is so correct. I agree. If you didn't manage to come to La Trobe in February for orientation, O Week is always great fun, even if you're not just a first year student at La Trobe. There's lots of freebies, friendly students, and many, many clubs to join, from Quidditch to COGS, which is a gaming society, to snowboarding.
The clubs have got to be one of the best things about La Trobe University, and it's never too late to sign up. So let's have a look around on what's on campus.
Guys, welcome to the 2018 Clubs and Societies Festival. We have over 80 clubs and societies here today. Come down and enjoy heaps of free food, heaps of free things, and partake in the activities.
Because it's going to be an awesome time for us to be out. Shout out to LTSU and all the volunteers for getting us together, making sure this is all set up for you guys to have.
So we are Two Birds, One Stone. We're a charity group on campus. We collect all remaining food at La Trobe University at the end of every single day and then donate it to people in need.
We are the Society of Music, otherwise known as LUSOM. Welcome to the 2018 Clubs Festival.
Welcome to the 2018 Clubs Festival! Happening tonight at Inflation Nightclub. It's $10 a ticket for LTSU members, heaps of free drinks. LTSU President Michael, 2018, come and see me for a free drink card. Thanks, guys.
We're the Japanese Club of La Trobe. Welcome to the Club Fest 2018.
Welcome to the Clubs Festival 2018.
Welcome to 2018 Clubs Festival.
Welcome to the 2018 Clubs Festival. Well, we're alumni, so it's a network that our students become a part of when they graduate automatically. We're the community garden. We're JMAC.
Welcome to Clubs Festival 2018.
Guys, we've got heaps of volunteers helping us out today to make this happen. We could give them a big shout out. Thanks for all your hard work, guys.
I actually remember chatting to Two Birds, One Stone last year, and it's such a great cause. They just collect so much food, and it's really good as well.
Yeah.
The only unfortunate thing is, of course, they have to get foods that are packaged just for hygienic reasons.
Yeah.
But I just remember them saying tons and tons of food each year.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Another great one to get involved in for the media, journalism, and art students watching is JMAC, which you're involved in, Sarah.
Yes, I am the secretary for JMAC this year. I've been in JMAC for 2 years now. I'm also the vice president of the debating society here on campus called Loud, and every fortnight we have events on those who want to get involved. So yeah, they're really interactive clubs, especially for media. It's really good to get to meet people and get some extra experience on the side as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You sound very busy with all of that stuff going on at the moment. I've been to a few of the JMAC events myself. I know they meet up every fortnight and just kind of have drinks and relax and do all of that stuff. And it's a really great networking opportunity for the students as well, because I feel like one of the things in a journalism degree is your networks. And so for the first years and anyone doing the degree, it's really good to get involved with, because you meet a lot of people. Now, one of the biggest clubs on campus is the La Trobe Student Union, and we're now joined by the welfare officer for LTSU. Liam, how are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good. Can you tell us a bit about LTSU and what you do for the club?
Yeah, sure. So the La Trobe Student Union is the peak representative body for students on campus. So we deal with advocating for students to the university, but also we're in charge of all the other clubs on campus, kind of. So we do all the club funding and that sort of stuff. We also run free weekly services like the Chill Out Trolley and the free barbecue.
Right. So how did you get your position as a welfare officer?
We have elections every year, so we're all elected to positions.
Okay. When is that election this year?
We're not too sure yet. Usually it's around September, kind of.
Right.
What made you want to get involved with LTSU?
I don't know. I just kind of liked helping out on services and stuff, and that kind of led to me getting more involved.
Yeah, no worries. So what events are coming up this year for LTSU?
So tomorrow we have our second Clubs Fest of the year. So it's an opportunity for all of the new students at La Trobe to see some more clubs on campus. There'll be like a big barbecue. Also, there'll be a food eating competition out in the Agora and a big dunk tank.
Yeah, so no worries. So that's all day tomorrow?
From 11 till 2.
11 till 2. So if any students have any breaks tomorrow, just head down to the Agora, the Clubs Fest on Simpsons Lawn and check out.
So what have you learnt since you've joined the student union?
Good question. I think I've kind of learnt, I don't know, I think it's been a good learning experience in what students actually need on campus. So you kind of interact with a lot of students from a lot of different backgrounds, and you kind of learn a lot about their experience on campus and, how to improve upon that, I think.
Right, and how can students get involved so they can have these experiences with the club?
So they can join the student union. It's a $25 membership fee, and they get access to a bunch of free discounts, and they get like a goodie bag kind of, like they get a free key cup and stuff like that. They also have access to the advocacy services we run. They can also join clubs on campus. So there's I think there's over 90 clubs on campus. They're a really good way to meet new people, make friends, that sort of stuff.
What are some of the discounts in the Agora today that students can use?
So I think they get 10% off Nuts About Teller, which is my favourite discount, but they also get a discount at Caffeine and Bacon Bean, and I think a few of the other cafes.
Oh, sounds great. So tell us a little bit about the LTSU team for 2018.
So our president, Michael Areche, has been involved for 3 years. He was the general secretary last year and the environment officer the year before that. We also have our vice president, Shay, who was welfare officer last year. And our General Secretary, Harry, who's in his first year as an executive member.
So where can we find a little bit of LTSU stuff on social media?
So if you go to our Facebook page, our main one, they'll have all of our events, but also all of the individual departments have their own pages. So welfare has a page, education has a page, activities has a page, so they all have their own events on their pages.
Yeah, that sounds really good. So easy to find on social media.
Yep.
You definitely have all of these connections for students, which they can check out. I know we're going to mention them on our Twitter and our Instagram, so it's easy for anyone watching to find. It sounds like a lot's happening this week with the Clubs Fest tomorrow. Do you have any other big events coming up this semester?
So we've got Stress Less Week, which is the big welfare.
That's my favourite.
Yeah,
that's my favourite. Tell us about it, please.
That'll probably be the second last week of semester. There'll be a whole bunch of really cool stuff, like a petting zoo, a bunch of stalls from different clubs, and probably some other stuff like last year we had like a bull in the Agora, like
Yep.
a bull that you can ride.
Yep, I remember that. I definitely remember the petting zoo because I was in one of the shows last year, and straight after we like made a beeline for the petting zoo, and yeah, there's always a lot going on, and it's so good to have right before exams for all of the students that are stressing out studying for exams. They can just go and pat a lamb or a dog or a cat, and really sort of wind down and relax, which is really good for all of the students here.
So how much time do you commit a week to your role in the Student Union?
Generally, it's kind of like sort of 9 to 5 every day.
Okay.
So like obviously Tuesday and Wednesday are the big days for me because I run the barbecue and the breakfast. But there's a lot of other stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we have to be there for.
Would you recommend for other students to getting involved in the Student Union?
Definitely. It's been one of the best experiences of my student life.
Right.
I've made a lot of friends through it and met a lot of people. It's definitely worth getting involved in.
How do you balance that with your uni timetable and your schedule? What do you study here?
So I study commerce arts. I'm only studying part-time at the moment.
Okay.
I was full-time last year, but became a bit overwhelming. But doing 2 subjects, it's still quite easy to kind of keep the balance.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
sounds really good.
Is there anything else you would like to tell students about getting involved in the Student Union?
Yeah, no, not really. Like just that they should definitely get involved.
Yeah, get
come
involved.
volunteer.
Check them out on social media. Yeah, so thank you for joining us. It's been
Thanks,
great to
guys.
talk to you. LTSU has such a big part of the Latrobe community, and a lot of students are involved, and I think I'm going to join myself now so I can get involved with these petting zoos. But thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
For those watching, you can also find more about LTSU at latrobesu.org.au and find more about all of the clubs and societies at La Trobe on the La Trobe University website. And a big thanks to LTSU for that great video as well.
For those who are just tuning in on the show, you are with the Morning Journal broadcast. It is 9:27 a.m. Thank you for joining us. You can tweet us on Twitter or follow us on Instagram at The Morning Journ and catch up with the show on the big screen here in the Agora at upstart.net.au.
Okay, so for now we have a new instalment of Entertainment Talk.
Hello and welcome to the second instalment of Entertainment Talk. This week I saw Game Night. Game Night is about a group of friends led by Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams, who play Max and Annie, who participate in a weekly game night when Max's brother returns and plans an elaborate murder mystery that sends him on a wild journey.
Tonight, we're taking Game Night up a notch. We don't need a board and we do not need pieces.
The film did give me a feel of some of Jason Bateman's other movies, but that makes sense because it was actually directed by the writers of Horrible Bosses, John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein. I was really surprised by the cinematography in this movie. It was trying some stuff that you wouldn't expect in a film like this. Specifically, when it brought you into scenes, it would often have an establishing shot that sort of looked like a board game, which I thought was really interesting. In terms of writing, I thought the pacing was good. They didn't linger too long on certain plot points and they kept the story going. There was also a lot of good running jokes and comedic pieces that sort of circled back in the story. I thought the performances were good all around and the cast worked well in an ensemble, but also when they paired off each couple to sort of discover different parts of the mystery, I thought that was effective. Game Night certainly isn't groundbreaking, but it doesn't need to be. It's a fun film that'll make you laugh and keep you interested in the mystery, so I definitely recommend seeing it. In TV, you can head over to Netflix to check out their new reality competition baking show called Nailed It. The series, hosted by comedian Nicole Byer, follows 3 contestants every episode as they try and win $10,000 through baking challenges. But there is one game-changing twist. The contestants don't know how to bake.
If you've ever tried to make this, but ended up with this is the show for you.
Nailed it.
This premise makes for comedy gold as the contestants' novice attempts to make a masterpiece go terribly wrong. There was a particularly memorable moment in the series finale when they were challenged to make a Trump-inspired cake, and one of the results was anything but what you wanted to eat. Overall, Nailed It is a good shake-up of a TV genre that has gotten a little stale. All 6 episodes are available now, so go check it out on Netflix. Finally, this week's retro review is inspired by the murder mystery aspect of Game Night. I'll give you a clue. It's Clue, the 1985 film based on the board game Cluedo that follows 6 strangers as they're brought together by someone that is blackmailing them. The story really starts though when the blackmailer is found dead and they must find out who the culprit is.
We're trying to find out who killed him and where and with what.
Movies based on board games weren't exactly a popular genre at the time, and I think that it definitely inspired some movies that utilised interesting source material. Battleship from 2012 was also based on a board game. The Pirates of the Caribbean series originally came from one of the rides in the Disneyland park. The Lego movies, obviously inspired by the Lego toys. And now we have the Emoji Movie, which is great. The film stars Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Leslie Ann Warren, Elaine Brennan, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean and Martin Mel. And I include all their names because I think this film works so good as an ensemble piece. There is smart writing and fully developed characters, which I really think you can see when they split the group off into pairs. They put the gay character with the over-sexualised maid, they put the pervert with the...
Family game night, always in my house growing up, consisted of playing Cluedo. We all really enjoyed the mystery behind it. It made the game really funny as we were all against each other and being all savage and didn't know who was lying or telling the truth. So I remember that. That was a great childhood memory.
I never actually played Cluedo. I was the type of kid that like set it up but was too lazy to read the rules. So I never played it. We didn't have it in our house. We had Monopoly, and that was like the one sort of family game that I really loved, and it gets so aggressive and kind of competitive, which is always really funny.
Consuming.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, when you have to start that game, it's like you have to play sort of all afternoon or something
3
like
to 4 hours dedication.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's always the point where, you know, you're losing and you're like, let's just give up because I'm getting very upset.
Let's pack this up. We're all getting angry.
Well, something actually in entertainment talk that I have been absolutely watching was Nailed It. I love the host. I love the contestants. I feel like I would be really good on that show because I don't bake, and so it would be funny to try and make some sort of cake masterpiece and just absolutely fail at it. And also the $10,000 is a huge bonus as well.
You know, getting $10,000 for not knowing how to cook. The world we live in.
I'm sure
anything is possible.
I'm sure I wouldn't be able to make anything better than what's on that show because they have such they've got this, you know, like an hour or 2 hours to make these elaborate cakes. And I'm sure if I was trying to do that as well, it would just end up an absolute mess.
Yeah, I definitely have to give it a watch. Looks like something hilarious.
I actually went on that Pirates of the Caribbean ride as well when I was in California at Disneyland, and it ended up getting stuck for about 20 minutes. So it was quite an interesting experience.
Yeah, on the news last year how that ride in Queensland, the roller coaster had broken down. I don't know. My fear of theme park rides has suddenly increased over the last couple of years. So
I used to really love them. I just loved the adrenaline, and now I'm just kind of looking, every time I go on a ride now, I'm just kind of looking at how stable it is and the braces between the seats and everything, and always when I'm on the ride, I realise that it's not safe and that it's actually, you know, very rickety, and it just freaks me out. So.
Yeah, every time. Like, I try to look at the bolts and try to look at how long ago this ride was made. You know, is it clean? Is it fresh? Does it keep well maintained? Will I be alive when I get off? Yeah. I don't know.
Theme parks are just, they're an experience. They're definitely an experience.
Definitely an experience.
And, you know, the Gold Coast is always fun. And
but
at the moment over there, it's all Commonwealth Games, but
Yeah. Now we have a music video from local artist Poppy Rose. Poppy released her music video Oceans this time last year as her first debut single. It was a labour of love. She comes from country Victoria and moved to Frankston alone when she was young. She started rapping to communicate her fears, aspirations and coming of age. She took 1 year hiatus in 2017 and now she's back with another single. But for now we have Oceans to share with you.
Tuck your head behind your ear, let me look in your eyes. Tell you everything will be alright. You crash, you rise, you're a wave, you're my tide. I swear you're a beautiful sight. If you crash upon my shoulder, but I don't know where you're at, I don't worry cause that tide comes back. You be calm, then I see that wave emerge, but you give me something to surf. I adore you, support you, good or bad. If I stay, I will witness all the beauty you have. I should let you know I'll be here, won't let you go. I'll still be inside your ocean. Ride that wave, control emotion. I'll be safe, I've got that notion. Take me in, now that I'm open to your love. Your love. Your love. Your love. I will not waste my time for you. I'll open up my mind. I'll stay and set you free. Do this for you and I'll do me. If you ever have doubt, you will figure it out. Don't let them tell you what you're about. You are more than enough, more than all the stories you tell. I love your heaven, but I live for your hell. Put me into a spell, magic that I don't know the words. If I don't speak, you will help me be heard. Building ashes to homes, do it by yourself on your own. Remember you are never alone. When it gets dark, you show me your spark. Show me who you are. Find ourselves, you see what I do. You believe me too. It ain't easy at all. We find beauty when we crash and we fall. Find the riches when we fall to the pole. Doors closed in life, then we knock to have a look what's inside. We live awake, but have you opened your eyes? Too afraid you don't know it. You're beautiful, look how you show it. You are everything, I promise I notice. Deep and true, green and blue, colors changing every moment. Speak my truth, watch you grow. Can you show me how you own it? You are free, let you be. Stay above and love below it. Don't you see what I see? You were made to be an ocean. I'll still be inside your ocean. Ride that wave, control emotion. I'll be safe, I've got that notion. Take me in, now that I'm open to your love. Your love. Your love. Your love. I'll still be inside your ocean. Ride that wave, control emotion. I'll be safe, I've got that notion. Take me in, now that I'm open to your love.
We're now joined by a very good friend of Poppy's, our very own producer, Tanique. Tanique, thanks for joining us.
I'm so excited to actually be in the studio and on camera. I don't know where the camera is.
You get a bit of a break from back there.
Having a good morning. I'm usually back there behind the window, but I'm really happy to be here talking about Poppy.
Yes.
Because Poppy is actually one of my great friends. I actually met her through Jackson, which is someone that actually came to La Trobe for about 2 months. He did our Making Media class, if you guys remember Making Media, in first year. And then we became good friends, and we went on a camping trip once for his 21st birthday or something. And Poppy was there, and she had actually just got an Ocean, which we just heard. I hope you all loved it in the Agora. She actually had that edited and produced for free by one of her friends. That's why Sarah said that's a labour of love, because it really was someone produced it just because they really liked her. And after she released it, she got a lot of great feedback from Triple J Unearthed and on Triple J, like the main station. And then she kind of went through a hiatus, as Sarah said, with her own mental illness. And now she's actually just released Lost, which is her newest single, and is actually doing really well on the top charts, like on the Australian charts, the local charts. It's actually number 11 as of this morning.
That's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
It's amazing to support
really amazing.
Our own local female artists, especially in rap, because we know it's a male-dominated genre. And especially if anyone in the Agora doesn't know, we're actually an all-female team, the Morning Journal, which you're watching right now. We're 9 ladies that produce this show, so we're really happy to be supporting local female artists.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Where can we find her on social media? She's got a Facebook page?
Yeah, she does have a Facebook page. You can find her on Facebook as Poppy Rose.
Right, and we'll put her in our Twitter and Instagram.
Exactly.
As well.
I'm sure that we'll share her on our Instagram, and it's really great to be on here, and I hope you guys are enjoying the show.
We absolutely are.
Awesome.
On Monday morning.
I know. It's
good.
a bit of a struggle to get in at 8 a.m. to produce this show for you guys that are watching, but we're enjoying it, and it's a really great initiative that La Trobe's allowed us to do.
Yeah. And, of course, with Poppy, it is amazing to support local artists. So for anyone watching, please check her out. You can find her on Facebook at Poppy Rose, and we'll link her on our Twitter and Instagram at The Morning Journ.
Yeah,
Definitely.
even if you drive home after uni today, maybe chuck Poppy's song on your little AUX cord there.
Let's bump her up to number 1 for top Australian artist on Spotify. Let's do
I'm
it.
going to be so happy to hear this.
Let's get rid of the 1 in front of the 11 there and just keep it with 1 digit.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you for joining us,
No,
Tanique.
thanks for having me on, guys.
Yep. Well, she's going back to the back room
Yeah, I have
now,
to run
but,
back to the back of the studio now.
Yeah.
So have fun.
We're so talented. Again, we are joined with Scarlett for the news recap. Take it away, Scarlett.
Thank you very much, Rachel and Sarah, and thank you, Tanique, our fantastic producer, for popping in there and talking about Poppy. Okay, so Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull says that it's business as usual for his government, despite the 30 consecutive news poll losses. With a revolt in his backbench over energy policy and the possibility of losing more polls than his predecessor, Tony Abbott, the PM has his work cut out for him with in-party politics. Tensions are forming as Donald Trump calls the Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad an animal, with some worried that the US will call for missile attacks against the Syrian government. A tower demolition has gone terribly wrong in Denmark. The obsolete concrete tower was set for demolition, but the crash didn't go to plan. The foundations of the tower exploded on an angle, causing the concrete tower to topple on a nearby library. Luckily, no one was hurt in the crash, but it was quite a spectacle. And just quickly touching on the weather this week with you gals. It is sunny today, and it's going to be chopping and changing as we dip into winter ever so slowly.
Yeah, I was literally just holding in a sneeze there. I was just holding one in.
I think everybody was sick at some point over the last week, but this week we'll have tops of 30 tomorrow, and then we'll have a cold weekend coming.
Yeah, this week I checked the weather because I like to check the weather for how I dress, as people should.
As Melbournians do.
Yeah, as you have to. You can't not. I saw, my Wednesday, a day where I have uni all day is 32 degrees, and then my Friday with my day off is a 20. Cloudy.
Yep, absolutely. So make the most of
you can
hot
expect
weather
that
before
in
it leaves
weather.
us.
Yep, for this week. Thanks very much.
Thank
No
you
worries.
for that,
Thanks,
Scarlett. It looks like we do have some pretty good weather, so it might be the time to go to Artvo, which is exactly what the girls from the Morning Journal did. Let's see what they discovered.
Artvo is a world of optical illusions consisting of different pieces of artwork. Located in Harbour Town Docklands, the museum gives people of all ages the opportunity to interact and become a part of the paintings.
Hi guys, we're at Artvo today. We're here to check out the 3D art, so let's go have a look.
Artvo consists of 11 themed areas, each filled with hand-painted artworks for everyone to enjoy. Alex Denders, a supervisor at Artvo, spoke to us and gave us a friendly tour of the museum.
So Artvo is a 3D interactive art gallery. What we have is over 100 paintings scattered throughout 11 different themed rooms. And what you do is you use your own smartphone or camera, take photos of your friends or family posing in the artwork any way they like, and only through your smartphone or camera can you see the 3D effect pop out at you and come to life. The inspiration for Artvo actually originates from Asia, so there's a few of these galleries scattered around there. There's one in Bangkok, Pattaya, Thailand, and we're kind of a sister from those ones over there. So that's where the inspiration and idea came from.
Taking only 60 days to complete, 14 talented painters worked to bring the museum together.
So with this one here, you can actually grab this large wedge that's coming out of the apple, put your right hand here, left hand here, act like you're pulling out. You can also lie down the bottom here. You can act like you're holding it up, like that. And you can also get another person over on this side, right hand down here, left hand up here. The biggest fan favourite pieces of art, I would have to say, are the King Kong. In our second last room, the wine glass is a really popular one, as well as the panther one in our jungle room, which is our third room.
Artvo is Australia's first interactive gallery with over 100 pieces of artwork painted from floor to ceiling. Jasmine Petrovska, The Morning Journal.
I love how interactive the whole thing is. I feel like it brings a completely new sort of vibe to an exhibition, and I feel like it's a lot of fun to do stuff like that.
Absolutely. It was a complete day of entertainment for my little siblings. They had the best time there, just playing around, running around as if, they were in the artwork, which was cool.
Yeah. It's really on my list of things to do now, especially with the good weather with this week,
100%.
Time to go to Artvo.
Now we've got Jasmine from Artvo joining us. Jasmine, how are you doing? How was Artvo?
It was so good. It was so different. I'd seen photos on Instagram, so I kind of knew what to expect. But, it's so crazy because, every room just looks so different. Nothing looks the same at all. The atmosphere was good. Everyone was lovely. They've got tour guides, the people working there coming through, showing you how to take the photo. Everyone was just so beautiful. It was, it's just nothing I've ever seen before.
Just really immersive.
I'm not really into art. I'm not an artsy sort of person. I've never been one to go to an art gallery, but oh my God, that was so different.
Yeah.
Because you're a part of it. You are the art, basically. It was just so much fun.
Absolutely. And I understand that there's themes in Artvo as well.
Yeah, so there's 11 themes, so 11 different rooms. So my favourite was the underwater one, not for taking photos, but just because it was so beautiful. The way they've painted some of those sea creatures were amazing. But as a part of getting in the photos, I really liked the Trevi Fountain one.
Yeah.
Just because I want to live my Lizzie McGuire dream, of throwing my coin in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just so much fun.
Yeah.
It's good for everyone, good for kids, adults, elderly, just such a good family day out.
So when you walk into Artvo, what's the layout like? What do you see when you first walk in the door?
When you first walk in the door, you see obviously the opening entrance, and there's two ways in, but obviously you only go through one way. We went the wrong way, but doesn't matter. And the first thing you see is this, where I did my face to camera. There's this grey wall, and it says I Heart Artvo, and you stand in between the love heart and the Artvo sign.
Oh.
And then you just walk straight to the side, and there's just paintings already. It's just straight in, So, it was just really colourful, very bright. It's just puts you in a good mood seeing all these different paintings.
So what was your favourite piece?
Trevi Fountain. My favourite was the Trevi Fountain.
It was just for the Lizzie McGuire vibes.
Even just how big it was and realistic. It took up a pretty big space in that one room, and it looked so real. I've never been to Italy, so I wouldn't know what it's really like, but it looked so realistic.
Yeah. Right. So how much did it cost for you guys to go?
So we actually got a media pass. We got pretty lucky. But if you are interested in going, adults are $28, for children it's $18, and students and seniors $25. So it's very inexpensive for a very good experience and some good Insta shots, I reckon.
Yeah,
worth the money, 100%.
We might have to put it on the Morning Journ Instagram account. Just
some of the snaps, too good. But we should also mention that it's no longer called Harbour Town Docklands. It's called the District now. For anyone that's interested in going, it's called the District. But
that's quite. I kind of
it's
like the sound of Harbour Town.
Sounds really fancy.
The District kind of reminds me of Hunger Games, which probably isn't the best thing ever to think about.
It's kids going, I'm going to the District today, Mum. It doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't sound good. If you've seen the Hunger Games, it doesn't sound good. No. Yeah.
So what was the atmosphere like in the Artvo Centre?
It was just so colourful, so bright. We were unlucky where we didn't go on a day where kids would be there, so there was a lot of older audience, but it was still amazing.
Yeah.
Still such a good atmosphere.
And now I understand you're not here just to talk to us about Artvo. You're also here to talk to us about something very important.
Yes. So over the weekend, I read an article on this news website called Babe. I quite like reading their stuff. They're a women's sort of news group and they like to talk about women's rights and like a bit of trash talk about celebrities and whatnot, you know, the good stuff. And I read an article about this thing called skinny privilege, and I'd never heard of it before. And I read the article because Kendall Jenner was in the photo. I was like, cool, I'll read that. And it basically talked about this idea that people who are on the thinner side have this privilege where things like shopping, buying clothes is so much easier than those who might be a little bit overweight or who are, you know, struggling, you know, with their weights. They can't find clothes for their size. And I never thought about the fact that I myself would have a privilege. I'm always complaining I can't find my size in this, or they don't have my style in this size. And I'd never realised that there's a whole demographic of people that don't even have their size stocked at certain stores. Like I know that Cook Eye, like they only go really up to a size 1 or 2. Like they've only got a certain amount of sizes. I didn't realise that there's a whole bunch of people who just can't find what they want. And it made me really sad to think that, you know, these people can't wear the clothes they want or can't feel comfortable, and not even that. Like the cost, you know, obviously they might need more fabric, so it's more expensive, and it's just so unfair. And I think it raises the issue that there's such a big gap in between the way we talk about women's sizing. You know, every store is a different size, you know, different make, and I think it's just really difficult for people to find what they want. And it's just sad that there's just a bunch of people who might not feel comfortable walking into a shopping centre because there's nothing there for them.
And I remember a couple of years ago there was a clothing store in the US that basically came out and said, we're only going to stock up to size 4, which is a very small size, and just kind of saying, you know, because this is the way it should be. And it was so outrageous, and it just blew up in the media, and they copped a lot for it. It was just, it was horrible. And there's sort of this representation in the media of how women should look.
Yeah.
And more often than not, those women on the covers of magazines and, you know, whatever else on social media, they're photoshopped, and that's not what women's bodies are like. So there is this stigma and this lack of representation of real women, as to say.
I think we need to be more size inclusive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it. It's just you know, just sad. It'd just be good if, like, we could bring more people together, you know, make sure everyone feels welcome in the fashion industry, because, you know, the way we look such a big deal, not just about, like, you know, how we look to others, but how we feel on the inside, you know, and for people to not have that opportunity is just really unfortunate.
Yeah. Is there any ideas that you may have for people that are struggling with things like watching their weight or like not happy with their body image that they can do so that they can feel like they do belong, especially with a society like this?
I feel like it's not them that has to change, it's society that has to change. You know, I don't feel anyone should have to try lose weight to fit a certain style of clothing. I feel that companies and people should be making that for them, you know. I just feel like it's more about discussing ways to make others feel better than finding ways to make them change themselves, if that makes sense.
And the media can be so damaging to people because there are girls out there, you know, even children and young teenagers, that they see what these women are like in the media, who are edited, and, you know, they've got their makeup done in the morning, they've got their hair done, they're, you know, dressed to impress, and they're just this sort of ideal image, and it's damaging for children to see because that's how they think that they should look. So it's quite damaging, and
it's unfortunate. I feel like social media's got a big part to do with that. Like
absolutely.
I've asked my mum. My mum doesn't have Facebook or Instagram or any of that, and like she grew up not having to, you know, look at someone else's photo and stalk them for 5-10 minutes, like wondering why their body looks so different in the bikini, or why their makeup looks so good, or why there's no acne on their skin. You know, like that wasn't the stigma she grew up in, and now there are generations growing up with this ideal that this is how everyday people look.
Yeah, and our generation as well, with the millennials, we were born without all of this technology and without the social media aspects and without these smartphones, and we're the only generation to have such a development of technology throughout our childhood and teenage years, and we weren't ready for it. Society wasn't ready for it, and it's just this huge emergence of advertising and Instagram, and
how quick did it happen? Like 1 minute I thought I was just messaging on MSN, you know, sending a couple, like, you know, a couple of gifs, and now I'm, you know, on Instagram looking at models who are paid to advertise something that probably doesn't even work.
And Twitter and Facebook and all of those things, and there are kids as young as 4 and 5 that have access to these things, and I mean it's hard to think about the amount of damage that it can have to younger generations, and especially ours, because we weren't ready for it. It was so quick, and it's bizarre to think how technologically advanced we became within only 20 years
Imagine.
or so. Can you imagine if it was just 20 minutes and then suddenly it's like smartphones? Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. It's something that needs to be talked about.
No worries, good to chat, guys.
We're now joined by Jenna for a sport report. Thanks, Jenna.
Thanks, guys. It's definitely been a big week in sport. In round 3 of the AFL, Collingwood's match was not only memorable for its misspelt banner, but also for the Pies breaking their losing streak with a win over rival Carlton by 24 points. The best team of all, the Mighty Tigers, showed Hawthorn why they're the reigning premiers with a 13-point win. Richmond coach Damien Hardwick was disappointed with the way the Tigers played out the game, saying they played it too safe, but was generally happy with the effort. In a cliffhanger, Port Adelaide held on to defeat Brisbane by 5 points, and Melbourne finally broke its 12-year, 17-game losing streak against North Melbourne, winning by 37 points. Other winners of the round were Adelaide, Fremantle, Sydney, Western Bulldogs and the West Coast Eagles. In Champions League, Madrid outclassed Juventus 3-0 with a moment of brilliance from Cristiano Ronaldo that had even the opposition crowd on their feet cheering. The spectacular bicycle kick goal from Ronaldo midway through the second half has been labelled one of the greatest of his career. And in an upset, Liverpool was too strong for Manchester City with a 3-0 win. Liverpool has condemned the action of supporters who badly damaged the Man City team bus upon its arrival at the game. And be careful how you celebrate. In the Masters, American golfer Tony Finau scored a brilliant hole-in-one, but then dislocated his ankle when he celebrated by running backwards on the fairway. It's all good though, as like a champion, he managed to pop it back in. I guess you could say that Tony Finau is good for now. Sergio Garcia also found himself unlucky, hitting 5 balls in the water on one hole during the first round on Thursday. His green jacket hopes sunk in the space of a few minutes, along with his unlucky golf balls. In the Commonwealth Games, Australia is currently in the medal tally lead with a total of 84, including 31 gold, 25 silver and 28 bronze, and with more wins yesterday in the pool and the velodrome. Individual events to watch out for today are the 100-metre athletics finals and the 100-metre freestyle, where the Campbell sisters will be chasing gold. It's also a big day for team events, with Australia facing showdowns in men's and women's basketball, women's hockey and netball, and men's beach volleyball. So get behind our fellow Aussie athletes. You can check the event schedule online at gc2018.com.
Thanks, Jenna. I know that Australians are absolutely just killing it at the Commonwealth Games at the moment. Lots of golds, and it's great to see it on the news as well, because everyone's so excited about how well we're doing in our own country, and it's really great to see. I know I've got a lot of friends and family on the Gold Coast at the moment going to the Commonwealth Games and watching these events. So
we're doing amazing. So be good for everyone to get around it a bit. I feel like it hasn't been promoted too well. A lot of people don't even really know it's on. I was speaking to people yesterday and they had no idea that the Commonwealth Games are on.
I didn't know till the day of. Yep. And then, and there's the opening ceremony was really good as well. Except there was one woman who had a bit of an issue with the camera during a dance routine, which was kind of on the news a little bit. Her skirt kind of flew up, and
goodness.
so I feel like that's how a lot of people unfortunately found out that the Commonwealth Games were on, because they were covering all of this on Twitter and the news, but not so much the actual Commonwealth Games, which was weird to see because it is in Australia. So, but they are on, so definitely check them out and check the event schedule.
Definitely. So. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Now, Rachel, we're reaching the end of our week show, but we have a lot coming up next week, don't we?
We absolutely do. We're going to have a new installation of Entertainment Talk with Kate, which is just such a favourite. I absolutely love it. I'm finding out about a lot of movies that I should be watching. So, I've heard that she'll be talking about the movies Blockers, which is starring John Cena.
Okay.
Which is interesting because he is a former WWE wrestler, I think. And so to see him in a movie is quite odd. But I think he has been in movies before. I'm not 100% sure.
The entertainment industry always does things like that, where they pull people that are famous in another industry and are like, oh, we'll just put them in a movie and we'll get viewers because they're already known.
Yep.
So
and he absolutely has been around on social media. I feel like he's sort of kind of like another The Rock Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was
in-
just about to say that because
Yeah.
I find that, don't get me wrong, Dwayne Johnson is great, but I feel like he plays himself. And I think that's
Right.
maybe what John Cena will be doing. Because, I don't know, every movie that I've seen The Rock in, he plays The Rock.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't
And-
play anyone else.
Yeah, I have absolutely been meaning to watch Jumanji as well because apparently it's very funny. So
It's
I'm
good.
very
It's
looking
good.
forward to it. There's an actress in there that was on Doctor Who as an assistant a few years ago, and I absolutely adored her. So it's good to it's on my list. I have a lot of things on my list of movies to watch because there's just so many coming out, and especially on Netflix and Stan and all of those streaming apps.
I just watched, my mum's trying to get me into like older movies because she believes they're more quality than what's out today. Not older, just more like 90s or 80s, which I don't really go for. But
Right.
she made me watch A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise and Demi Moore just on the weekend. And I thought that was great. It was really long, but it had a really good storyline. And if you weren't paying attention, you would kind of miss out on important parts because the whole movie was important.
Right.
So, and she was basically telling me that she believes back then the movies were more quality because nowadays people don't have as much of an attention span.
Absolutely.
And that, again...
That's so true.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah.
So I watched that, which I thought was great. But then straight after, just for laughs, she was like, that was a pretty serious movie. Let's just watch something that's not as serious that we don't have to pay a lot of attention to.
Yeah.
So she played Baywatch.
Oh my goodness.
And I was...
The new one with
yeah,
Zac
with-
Efron?
Yeah, and The
I
Rock.
haven't seen it, but
You should watch.
I've seen some.
But it's not, I wouldn't say you really have to pay attention.
Right. It's just sort of the one that you chuck on and
Yeah, it's what you chuck
it's like
on.
a light
and-
funny.
Yeah,
funny
it's a light
movie.
funny, but a lot of movies like that in this century, like they are very... There isn't always much of an intense story, even if they're not like thrillers or dramas. Like it does become... Oh, what's the word for it? It's just kind of just made for rather just making money rather than quality of movie.
Yeah, they just want to get a lot of money in
Get
the
their
box
quick
office.
fix, yeah.
Well, some classics that I've actually watched recently would have to be like The Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah.
Like the two breakfasts.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it just left my head.
Classics like that will never die. So many TV shows have made remakes of them.
Yeah.
That's when you know you've made it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like things that are just timeless classics. Like I could watch The Breakfast Club now and just completely relate to it, enjoy it so much.
And Breakfast at Tiffany's is so beautiful. Like
Yeah,
I just
100%. Yeah.
it's amazing. Audrey Hepburn, like just such a stunner and incredible.
Yeah, but that's what I love about the entertainment package we play here at the Morning Journ
Yes.
because it's different in terms of today's entertainment.
Yeah,
it brings
it's-
you back in time a little bit to discover the classics.
Exactly.
So we'll have a new installation of entertainment talk next week.
I've also heard she'll be talking about Ready Player One, which is also on my list. But very, very exciting. We're also going to have a video from our very own Scarlett, who will be visiting the break room in Collingwood, which is I heard that she's broken quite a few things over there in her filming, so that's very exciting. It looks like the type of place where you would sort of exert all of your stress and sort of pent up feelings from uni and whatever's going on.
Yeah,
So.
I agree. I'm sure all the students watching get it too. For you that are just tuning into the show now, it is 10:03 a.m. at the Morning Journal broadcast. Thank you for joining us.
You can tweet us on Twitter or follow us on Instagram at The Morning Journ. Unfortunately, we're at the end of our show, but you can catch replays of the show on the big screen in the Agora throughout the week or at upstart.net.au.
Yes. Please continue watching us. Again, you can watch this episode whenever you like, 5 times a week if you want to hear the same part of news.
It is our second episode, but we are on every week for the semester. So
Yes,
very
Monday,
exciting.
9 a.m. So thanks for watching, and I'll see all of you and more of you next week.